This isn't the original discussion video I planned to post today, but that video will be pushed back to next week. That video is only being pushed back since I am in the process of rewatching the series I wanted to discuss doing a crossover what if about. I should be finished watching it by the time next Sunday comes around, so I'll be able to do that video for that Sunday. I'll give a brief, vague hint about what series I'm going to be discussing doing a crossover with to see if anyone can guess which one it is. Instead of it being another anime that I'll be discussing, it'll be a cartoon from the late 2000s. This cartoon series also had the concept of chi/key in it like Dragon Ball does. Anyway, instead, I briefly want to discuss a what if idea I had to see if there's any interest in a series like that being made eventually. The what if idea I had originally came to me while I was making an old video of mine about Bulma getting her wish. My idea instead, though, was what if Bulma wished to be a Saiyan. Originally, I was struggling to think about why she would wish to do this, but after discussing this idea with others, we came up with something. What we came up with is still a bit of a stretch, but I think it'll be interesting to explore. So, it would start similarly to that video I mentioned about Bulma getting her wish. She first tries to wish for the perfect boyfriend, which assuming that would be Vegeta, I still don't see him coming to Earth since he wouldn't want to at this time. Instead of going on to make her original wish of a lifetime supply of strawberries like I mentioned in that video, she comes up with a different idea. Even if she knows she won't meet her perfect boyfriend now, she decides to make sure she will be the perfect girlfriend for him. So, she wishes to be the perfect girlfriend for him instead. And what would be the perfect girlfriend for the Saiyan Prince? Back then especially, with how Vegeta was at the time, another Saiyan would be the perfect match for him. Once Bulma makes this wish, it would turn her into a Saiyan. Obviously, this would change a lot about Bulma, such as her getting that drive for fighting. So, she might end up going along with Goku to train with Master Roshi, while she could get closer to Goku than she normally would. With her knowing that her perfect boyfriend is out there somewhere, I don't think it would end up becoming a Goku marrying Bulma scenario. Speaking about that, I also don't think she'd ever develop a relationship with Yamcha, since she knows the perfect man for her is out there somewhere, which implies it isn't someone she already knows. Also, if she becomes a fighter like this, it could change every saga following the Emperor Pilaf saga drastically. Someone with the intelligence of Bulma also becoming a great fighter would be a valuable asset to the people of Earth. While I don't have specific ideas for her role in these sagas yet, it will be interesting to explore if there is enough interest in this series being made. The earliest I could think of an occasion where her intelligence might come into play, besides just in any fight she's in, is during the Red Ribbon Army saga if she meets Android 8. Who knows what Bulma would decide to do if she saw androids this early on, but as far as I can remember, she never met Android 8 in our timeline. If she met androids like that this early in the timeline, it makes me wonder what would happen in the Android saga. She might have an easier time building the detonation remote for Android 17 and 18, especially if she somehow managed to get the remote detonator for Android 8's bomb back then. Also, with her being a fighter this time, she wouldn't have a reason to leave it up to Krillin to be the one to use the remote detonator. She'd likely take the responsibility into her own hands, and I don't see her hesitating to destroy the androids like Krillin did. It could also be interesting to see how the future timeline goes if she's a fighter like this. Should future Bulma be the warrior that returns to the past, or should it still be someone like future Trunks? As the future timeline ends up being a dark timeline overall, it could be interesting to explore what would happen if Bulma was the only surviving warrior in the future. Though I wouldn't know how to explain what happened to Trunks in this timeline, at least not yet. Regardless, if anyone has thoughts on this scenario or what they would like to see in it, I'd love to hear them. Please do share them in the comments if so, as I'd love to discuss this idea even more with other people.